In this video, we're going to talk about a cryptic message that leads Spawn and Lyra to this. You'll see what I mean by the end of this issue, and I'll fill you in on exactly what happens to how we get to this point, but this is a damn good issue. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Spawn, issue number 359, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So previously in Spawn and Lyra receive a cryptic message claiming to have a way to stop Bludd. So before we get there, we see this corpse right here. I called it creature, but what the fuck do you call that thing anyway? It's just nasty. But when you look at it and you look at it closely and you see that bullet hole in her head, you'll notice that, we didn't notice it until the end of this issue, but I'm just going to fill you in now because I'm your boy like that. That is Nyx. And keep in mind, in Spawn issue number 299, Cagliostro, before he became Sin, he went to Nyx's house and killed her right then and there. That's her dead corpse. So how is she there when she's running things in hell? Well, we'll answer that question. But what she notices in that corpse form is crazy, because these vampires right here, all their fangs are missing and they're hung like that, and she's like, damn, this is some new bull jive right here, but it's predictable. What do you mean it's predictable? So now Bludd and his associates are like, look man, there's a new angel faction that's turning into a real problem. Last week alone we sustained multiple attacks and we expect more are on the way. And Bludd is like, yo, is that the same group or what? And his associate's like, I'm pretty sure it is, but before they kill them, they made a point to ripping out their fangs. No dead zones have been breached because we've been manning them. So whoever's arming them is here on Earth. We have a few leads, but right now Jason Wynn seems like the likeliest. And Bludd's like, yo, Jason Wynn is a lot more swift and a lot more clean. I doubt he'll be that reckless. Either way, we need to wipe this out. We need to put a stop to this. And his comrades like, agreed. We've got the angels and demons on the run now. We don't need them to have any kind of figurehead to rally around. All right. So meanwhile, we get our old boy over here, the Curse. And despite having never set foot in heaven, he's always been deluded and an extremist to God's teachings. He's super extra. All glory to God, but bro might be a little doing too much, or he might be a little jaded with it all. When the angels lost their powers, he saw an opportunity to prove his worth to God in his hour of need, and to finally secure his place next to his Lord's side. And he gets excited. And when he sees Spawn and Lyra going up in there, he's like, you're all here, great. Spawn thought they'll be surprising their enemies, but little did he know they're actually expecting him. And Curse lets it be known like, hey man, I've been expecting you. And Curse's associate, or bodyguard if you will, Rochelle if you want to call it that, that's his name. He's like, how the heck did you find us, Hellspawn? And Curse is like, well, that's easy. I gave them the info. I gave that info to them. And they're all pissed like, you did what? And Spawn's like, you're the one who tipped us off? Why would you do that? And the Curse is like, of course, how does one pay tribute to God if they're not willing to recruit? All true disciples have their flock of sheep to help them. And Spawn's like, okay, help you with what? I'm a bite, but I'm not gonna go all the way in, alright? Curse is like, help with the dead zones. They're broken, they've stolen all your powers, but I know how to fix them. And Spawn's like, you're a nobody and you never dealt with anything within reality, so why are we here? I just told you, said the Curse. Do you really think God would let Nyx control those portals? He wouldn't. He planned for Hell's interference. You don't see that? It's why he let the vampires keep their powers to help balance things out. But Bludd has overstepped his boundaries. He's placed something at each dead zone to keep them from opening. But if you help me, I believe we could unseal one of them, triggering a domino effect that will return them all to normal, and you will have your powers back. But I need you to help launch your attack. I need your help to launch this attack. Together, we can give glory to the Almighty. And Spawn's like, yo man, by giving heaven and hell their powers back, hell to the no, I'm fighting to keep this world from that. You're insane. And Curse is like, and you're too weak, and you're going to just surrender the world to Bludd? That's where we're heading if something isn't done. So either heaven and hell get their powers back and you get their powers back too, so you could do your thing, Spawn, or let Bludd do his thing. You are in a tough pickle. His armies outnumber us 10-1. What do you think he's planning on doing? Total domination by wiping us out, all of us out. And once we're gone, there'll be no one left to stand against him. Is that what you want your legacy to be? And this huge light of explosion happens, and it's Lyra using her powers and being pissed off like, enough! I'm tired of listening to this bull jive, Spawn. We either do something or we freaking leave. And Rachel's like, you dare, Lyra? Pie faces her to the ground, and Spawn takes out his sword like, you move and you're dead. And Curse is like, silence! He demands silence. He demands everyone listen to him. All of you, there's no time for this. God has given us this mission. We are bound to fulfill it. And when done, give praise to the Lord for deeming us worthy that he handpicked us. And Lyra's like, okay, this bro is too extreme for me. I'm out of here. But is Curse making sense? I mean, even a broken clock is right twice a day, right? But either way, you don't know when he's right. So Spawn's like, we out. You know, we got to get up out of here. And Lyra's like, good, I'm with you, bro. And Curse is like, when the spirit speaks to you, you'll be back. And Vrishar is like, you brought them here. Now you're just going to let them go just like that? Well, we all have free will, my friend. The decisions we make must be our own. But don't worry, he'll be back. Oh yeah? And why is that? He won't be able to help himself. Trust me on that. Curse is a little bit overconfident on that. So the Curse's words haunt Spawn on his journey home. Helping heaven and hell goes against every fiber of his being. But he also understands that Curse might be right, that a world dominated by Bludd's vampire sectors isn't the answer either. And at some point, Spawn may have to just pick his proverbial poison. Which one is the lesser evil? Keep Bludd on Earth and take him out as immortal, or open up the dead zones or whatnot and get his powers back along with heaven and hell. And he gets his powers back too, but which one is a lesser evil? He doesn't know that yet. But Lyra thinks she hears a scream, and she does hear a scream. And it's this guy right there screaming because these monsters are out. So before tonight, losing his powers had seemed a fair price to Spawn to keep heaven and hell's agents at bay, to keep their influence over humans to a minimum. But it isn't that clean. There are gray areas, things that exist somewhere between heaven and hell, and these creatures don't give a damn about humanity. These are just dinosaurs being savages right now. And Spawn also knows he's at risk of getting himself hurt because he can't deal with them like that. Even though he's military trained, he's a mortal right now. He's not military trained as Spawn with powers. He's military trained as a mortal, but those skills alone are not going to be enough to keep him alive. And if he's gone, who's going to protect Earth? There'll be lambs going to their slaughter. Spawn's duking it out with these demonic brothers, but you know what? We don't know what they are. But Spawn could also be that lamb too, because without his powers, heaven and hell are weak, but so is he. And he may be deluding himself, thinking he could take down Bludd without any powers, while others still with unnatural strengths lurk in the shadows, waiting for their chance. And this guy who called out for help was like, you're not gonna hurt me, right? Please don't hurt me. So Spawn talks to himself. Is this planet better off with mostly powerless threats, or do they need a Spawn at full force protecting them from others at full force? For now, frustratingly, he doesn't have the answer to that question, and that's what's bugging him the most. So Lyra's like, what's the plan? And then this voice off screen is like, don't worry, child, and it's Nyx. Everything will make sense soon enough. Now, if you don't mind, I've came a long way, and I like to have a word with Mr. Simmons. That's gotta be creepy, like, well, girl, you're supposed to be down in hell. What the hell are you doing up here? And Spawn's like, I don't know what this is all about, Lyra, but I can handle it. Before she goes, says Nyx, let me introduce myself. I'm Nyx, the queen of hell. My throne given to me by Simmons himself. What do you want, says Spawn. Careful, Al, though this old avatar in my body is almost burnt out, meaning that that's the body that Cagliostro killed her in, and she's using that body as an avatar. You don't want my true form coming here to Earth. Why are you gonna leave us a mystery like that? But I have plans, Al. But this mission you're contemplating with the curse, you need to abandon it. And Spawn's like, girl, I'm not on anyone's mission. Not yet, but you're mortal now. You're putting decades of my work at risk. And Spawn's like, decades? Yes, though only a few months have passed on Earth, it's been much longer in hell. It's kind of funny how that's biblical. Like in the book of Peter, it talks about like 1 day to us is like 1,000 years to God, and 1 day to God is like 1,000 years to us. It's in the book of Peter. I don't know the scripture, but it's in the book of Peter in the Bible. It's why I've only got a few more seconds left in this rotting corpse, the body that Cagliostro stole from me. So I don't have time to explain myself, but there's a bigger conflict at play. The curse and Bludd will derail everything. Stay away from them. Why you gotta be so ominous like that? But we want to know. And Spawn's like, okay, girl, so listen to me. My only job is to protect the people of this planet. You understood that once when you were human yourself. And Nyx is like, I still do, but sitting on a Hailstone allows me to also see a grander destiny for all of us. Stay away from them, you've been warned. And her body disintegrates. And Lyra's like, okay, what the hell was that? An omen, says Spawn, telling me that things can't remain the same. You're not thinking of going back to the curse, are you? And Spawn's like, I don't know, maybe. And Lyra's like, well, count me out, boo. After everything angels and demons did to my family, which Lyra did go into that a few issues back, I'm not helping those assholes get their powers back. I get that, says Spawn, but there might be another choice. And Lyra has her doubts, like, I'm not sure about this, but I bet it puts both of us at risk, and I don't like playing the same games you do. And Spawn's like, sometimes there aren't any good options, just a choice between bad and worse. It's time you decided which fate you hate more. And Curse goes into this monologue as Spawn and Lyra go about their business. As he predicted, Spawn returned to him later that night as they began preparations for their attack. Of course they knew the odds were against them. Many others had already tried and failed to liberate the dead zones from Bludd, but they knew God was on their side, and they all made their peace with dying. Still, even with that peace of knowing that they could potentially die that night, none of them were prepared for what transpired that night. And all the chaos of their actions would unleash onto the world that night when the Lord's sight shined upon them all. And Curse is looking a whole different kind of curse right up because, oh my gosh, what the heck? So Nyx warned you and you go about doing it anyway? Man, this issue right here, it's pretty gangster when you put it like that in full circle, because we've been wondering back in 350 what the heck is Nyx up to, and we get a little taste of that, but we still hungry for that, all right? And that's one thing we have in common on Rated Comics. We all hungry for that action. But that is the end of Spawn issue number 359. What you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know, and also link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print Rated Comics exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. I also do links to our Shopify store right below in the video, but go ahead and check us out and see what comic books you want to add to your comic book collection. But with all that being said, thank you again for watching. Until next time.